Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody, and what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I just got done uploading. I should have said this in the video, but I just got done uploading the most electrifying turn alert in all of the YouTube wrestling community. The IWC, YWC, the YouTube wrestling community. I didn't say that once in that video. I should have, though. But it was definitely the biggest turn alert I have ever done. I wish I would have had my graphics. I want to make new graphics, of course, with, After Effects and Photoshop and whatnot for the channel, which I am going to work on them soon. I will get to them. Although I do have a special video I'm going to be doing hopefully this week. And I kind of played around a little bit and did that for that video. But that will happen. But what is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. We're not live, but we're here for my SmackDown review from this past Friday, February 9th, 2023, in the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. Of course, this was the week after we had that that segment with The Rock kind of getting in the picture and The Rock turning heel at the press conference. This is the following night from the press conference. I didn't go live for this because, I've been trying to get caught up today with some other content because I took most of the weekend off. I just need a breather. We've had so much happening the past week or two with wrestling that I just need a breather. I was whooped, as Carmelo Hayes said last Sunday when he turned on Trick Williams. All he could say was, when he asked why, he just goes, the chair just goes, whooped. And went from there. But plus also, this SmackDown review this episode of SmackDown was fine. It was solid. It did its job. It built towards Chamber, which, by the way, after Raw this past week, it caused me to make a lot of changes to my Chamber card predictions, which so far have good views. Thank you very much for those, by the way, guys. Keep it going. Again, I did work very hard on that one, including using Adobe After Effects on that one. I worked very hard on that, but my predictions are definitely way off, especially the men's Chamber match. I thought, because they were advertising for a thing this week where Nick Aldis will be picking Logan Paul's next challenger. And I thought he was going to be being hit with a bombshell and being told that he was going to be having to defend the title inside the Chamber. Well, instead, he actually next week against The Miz is going to be getting a qualifying match to be inside the Chamber for the winner to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. That's right. They're doing both Raw and SmackDown superstars being in the Chamber match. Well, mixing them into the Chamber match for both the men's and the women's. Which, I'll be honest, I'm okay with it. The reason why I'm not bothered by it is because, it is WrestleMania season. It's kind of like, the winner of the Rumble got to pick who they faced. Now, of course, the Chamber, you can kind of do the same thing. Give both brands the chance. Since the winner of the Rumble got to pick, either brand. Have some people from both participate in the match. Could possibly switch the titles over to different brands, or, could do other things. I don't know. I'm not upset about it because it's not like last year when they first had the title, the crown, a new World Heavyweight Champion, and they had just announced it was a Raw-specific title, and they just had the draft. So why would you have superstars from both brands at the time compete for a Raw-branded title? Now, of course, that you have up in the air what's it called? Now that it's the Rumble gets the opportunity to pick who they face. So why not give both brands a chance? And simple, the winner, if a SmackDown superstar would win it, they just move over to Raw. I'm pretty sure I know who will win the Chamber, though, on next Saturday. 2 Saturdays from now. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, the rest of the show was just fine. Mostly qualifying matches. A couple other little things here and there, but nothing like as big as the last couple of weeks. But of course, it was announced that we will, in fact, get the return of the Tribal Chief and The Rock will both appear on SmackDown next Friday. So that'll be a big one. But let's roll in. Let's talk about the show. The show opened up with the game Triple H entering after we get a recap of the WrestleMania 40 kickoff show. Now, I do have to mention, though, I've noticed the past couple times he's been on TV, he's not been introduced as Triple H. He's been introduced as Chief Content Officer, which he is for real, the Chief Content Officer, Paul Triple H Levesque. Not sure if they're doing that because they're trying to make him distinctive from his wrestling name. But I'm okay with it if that's his more, corporate name, especially since he's more so like a corporate figure now since he can't wrestle anymore. So I wanted to point that out. He is now Paul Triple H Levesque. Didn't get to check the WWE roster to see if he's actually listed as that on there or not. But probably not, but, just mentioning that. Anyways, he comes out, and along with him is Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. He welcomes us to the show and says how the kickoff press conference was an incredible way to start the road to WrestleMania. And he also hypes up, of course, as as one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time, with it being WrestleMania 40. And at some point, they took a hard left turn, and now that road is on fire. But it feels really, really good. This is when, of course, Rocky Sucks chants interrupt. He came out here saying he wanted to clear up one thing. There may be some confusion, and some people may not know their role. He set the record straight because people came out and tried to assert their authority when they don't really have any. He doesn't care where you sit. The one thing that is clear, whether people don't like them or do like them or don't like them, the answers come from one place and one place only, and you're looking at him. For himself, Triple H. And he says, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Roman will defend the title against Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 40. Some people in the back may not like that, but it doesn't. But here's one thing: it doesn't matter if you don't like that decision. Obviously, firing a shot at The Rock on that, which I'm like, dang, that was good. So they addressed that, and then they addressed the whole thing with the Chamber, how they're going to have qualifying matches between Raw and SmackDown superstars, which I don't know why they didn't just have the Raw superstars face each other and the SmackDown superstars face each other. I don't get why they had to all be like a Raw versus SmackDown star, kind of mixing it up. A little strange, but whatever. That didn't bother me as much for some reason. But yeah, they talk about the qualifying matches for the Chamber, and again, SmackDown, because SmackDown women are facing SmackDown women for their spot in the Chamber. Raw women are facing Raw women. I don't know why they're doing it this way, but whatever. Anyways, so they advertised the people in the qualifying matches for the men are Randy Orton, Bronson Reed, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, AJ Styles, The Miz, Bobby Lashley, Ivar, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, as Drew McIntyre says, Dominic Mysterio, and with everybody saying L.A. Knight, yeah, are all in the matches. So then Drew McIntyre comes out, as he will be in the qualifying matches against AJ Styles. He comes out and he's thanking everybody for proving with our wallets that we think the same about CM Punk as he does, and he is wearing a shirt. And he promises us that Punk won't get 1 penny of his shirt profits. As he's dubbed, Drew McIntyre calls himself CM Hump in there somewhere, which was just hilarious. Again, Drew is just doing some of the best heel work I've personally seen. He's got to win the Chamber, and he's got to win the title of WrestleMania. Like, there's no one else. There's no one else. I mean, yes, you can make an argument for Sami Zayn and a few others, but Drew is doing that good of work that with Punk out right now, why not give it to Drew? Seriously, give it to Drew at Mania. But he's also taking credit for Cody deciding the future of their story. And of course, this is how he will win the Chamber, and he will finally get his moment to give us a champion we can be proud of and who is best for business. He wrestles AJ Styles. Match was fine. LA Knight, though, is out on commentary because he's seemingly involved in the feud with AJ. And based off of some, interactions with Knight and Styles outside, Drew capitalizes and he wins the match. So I guess, LA Knight, I think either on Raw this coming week or on SmackDown next week is going to be facing Ivar in a qualifying match. So either LA Knight's going to win that and get in the Chamber, and I think that's where they'll probably start teasing his match with Logan Paul, or they could have Styles cost Knight his match, and we do LA Knight and AJ Styles at Chamber 1-on-1 because they've seemingly been teasing it. And I haven't done the turn. I guess more and more AJ's a heel, but still he does some stuff like gives the crowd high fives. I still don't think he's full on heel yet. I think he's just a tweener. But yeah, so that'll probably be happening. Sami Zayn has an interview backstage saying he says that last week has taught us that nothing is certain in WWE, especially around WrestleMania season. It's an emotional time for everyone, and last year he was in the main event, and when he main evented with Kevin Owens on night 1, and they beat the Usos for the tag titles. This year the window is closing fast, and he has to act fast, and he looks at the facts in front of him. He has to go against Randy Orton tonight, and he wants to go to Chamber against Drew McIntyre, a man that Sami has never beaten. It's not easy, but it's a path that he'll take. We also get a pretty deadly vignette or whatnot in front of some window, some gazebo by the lake, and I just did not really care at all because I don't care about Pretty Deadly. Again, they have a catchy theme song, but I just don't care about them. I don't care. I don't like their attire. I don't like their gimmick. I just don't. I'm sorry. They're not clicking for me. We also seeing British Strong Style. There's Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne and DIY backstage getting ready for their match where the winner will face Judgment Day at Elimination Chamber. And then we had also got a recap of Bayley splitting with Damage Control and her picking Io, and she will address us later as well. Bianca Belair had a qualifying match against Mia Yim, and the match I thought was pretty good. Bianca does win as I expect, but I gotta give Mia Yim credit. She has, this year, she's had, I think, 2 or 3 matches, I think it was, on SmackDown so far this year. And all of them, she's looking really good. They're giving her a chance to be on TV. She's looked aggressive. maybe the whole OC will turn heel with AJ. Could happen, you never know, which I kind of want to see that happen. But yeah, Mia's been looking good. I do hope she gets her chance to really stand out in 2024. She's way too good to be kind of like put on the sides. So I do hope she gets her shot at some point this year. We also have a backstage where Bron Breakker met with Triple H. Hunter congratulates him on his growth and says he's excited to see what he does on the next level. Of course, though, Braun is still trying lose my train of thought. He's still trying to decide if he's going to sign with Raw or SmackDown, which I like that they're hyping him up big. Again, I do appreciate they're trying to do something with these signings and not just saying, hey guys, I'm here, or whatnot, for the most part. But anyways, as he's asking for advice, who happens to show up? Paul Heyman shakes hands with Braun and Braun leaves. But oh man, if they need another Paul Heyman guy after Roman's done with him, Bron Breakker would be awesome. Anyways, Heyman talks to Triple H, and Hunter's like, "What do you want?" And then Heyman's like, "Well, first off, Braun's a hell of a talent, but he knows it's not a good time. But so next week he will come back." And when he does, he won't be alone. He will bring the tribal chief. And he'll also bring your buddy Dwayne. I should have mentioned that as well in the Turtle Alert. Whenever CM Punk was saying, yeah, the WrestleMania main event next year is not going to be John Cena and your buddy Dwayne. I'll be bringing back Dwayne, but not. Roman Reigns and The Rock will be at WrestleMania this coming SmackDown. And then Triple H's like, cool, I look forward to it. Then we have Bayley coming out, saying that a part of her wants to think last week didn't happen. And then we started chanting for her, and she figured lots of us would think she had it coming. And she'll take it. Whether you like her or not, we're all cool right now because we've been with her on this whole journey and we know what's in her heart, which kind of like, is her, slowly turning more and more babyface, shedding off the heel skin. She says she gave and gave to Damage Control and all they did was take. She thought after she won the Rumble, maybe they'd all be happy for her and all would be good, but that didn't happen. She talks about them laughing behind her back and shutting whenever she walked in the room. And she's had that happen too often to not learn her lesson. So Io Sky is going to learn the lesson the hard way. Then all of a sudden, Dakota Kai starts coming out of nowhere going, Bayley! You haven't answered my calls. What's going on? What happened last week? And then Bayley is like, where were you? Which that's what we were wondering. Where was Dakota last week? Dakota says she's very close to being clear and she had a doctor's appointment last week. Bayley's like, not buying it. You must know what was going on. Dakota's like, I'm in a tough spot. But I want you to know I always believed in Damage Control. And what Bayley created, so did Io, up until Asuka and Kairi came along. And they got in her head. And then Bayley says, well, why didn't you say anything? And Dakota says she wanted to, but didn't know how. She misses when it was just the three of them. And felt like they could do no wrong. And Bayley has always been a mentor to her. And it seems like her plan was working. And then the Kabuki Warriors won the tag titles. Bayley won the Rumble. They were so close. And then she thought that it wouldn't blow over how it did. But it did. Bayley's like, well, they're here right now. Where do you stand, Dakota? Dakota hesitates. And then out comes Io, Asuka, and Kairi. They surround the ring, and Dakota Kai immediately bails. And it looks like it's just Bayley 3-on-1. But then Dakota gets back in the ring with a steel chair. And it looks like she is about to attack Bayley with it. But then she does the thing where she runs towards Bayley, but then she runs past Bayley, and she starts swinging the chairs at the champs. And so it basically looks like, for the time being, Dakota is with Bayley. But I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. I don't think Dakota is with Bayley. I think this is just a brief setup. Which is why I am not doing a face turn yet for the turn alerts for Dakota Kai. I'm going to wait for a little bit, and we will see until I'm completely convinced. Randy Orton had a backstage interview talking about Sami Zayn and his opponent tonight in the main event, and he's right about it not being given to WrestleMania. And he talked about how watching from home last year was horrible, but he learned an invaluable lesson about patience. As far as Roman is concerned, he'll sit back and wait. And if everything comes his way, he will be in Elimination Chamber. So, of course, he will, of course, at some point get back to Roman, but, he will take his opportunity right now. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and B-Fab are backstage talking about their feud with the Final Testament. And Lashley's going to have a qualifying match on Monday on Raw against Bronson Reed, who he's had a couple matches with last year. They had really good chemistry, so I look forward to that match. We have, that number one contenders match for the tag titles with DIY's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. We are dead. We are. I miss their old theme song. I don't like their new theme song. Against British Strong Stylers Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Match was definitely probably the best match of the night. I don't think I can't remember if I did or not, watch the match with DIY and British Strong Style at Worlds Collide in 2020, where it was Gargano and Ciampa versus Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, who is no longer with the company, unfortunately. I wish he still was. So I knew this was going to be good. And I thought it was good. The problem was, though, the crowd was just dead for this match. They were dead. And then, people like Tyler Bate, as I've always praised Tyler Bate as somebody who can wrestle against any style. Doing, the combo of, the airplane and, the Cesaro swing or whatnot, just... Again, the guys out there are killing it, but the crowd's just not into it whatsoever. And that kind of hurt the match a little bit. But eventually, though, British Strong Style does win when Pete Dunne hit a bitter end on Johnny Gargano. And then after the match, they all fist bumped. Johnny Gargano was kind of glassy-eyed and had a bloody nose, apparently, too. Maybe a WrestleMania for DIY, because I don't think British Strong Style will win at Chamber. I still think, though, they might be getting Awesome Truth, though, being the ones to dethrone Judgment Day at Mania. But speaking of which, we have Byron Saxton having a backstage interview with Dominic Mysterio, who is in the tournament. And he's talking smack about whoever his opponent's going to be for the qualifiers, which he finds out it's Kevin Owens. It's like, hello there, I'm going to defeat you and dedicate my victory to Rey Mysterio, which, of course, he doesn't like. And then R-Truth shows up. He's looking for Miz. And then he calls Kevin Owens Miz, and he goes, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be on Raw. And then Owens, who obviously... Well, then, of course, he tells him, you gotta watch out for Tom and Nick. And then I think... he says... he says, you gotta watch out for... you gotta watch out for Nick. And then he says, but not Nick Mysterio... Nick Aldis. You'll get in trouble if Nick Aldis catches you, Miz. And Kevin Owens, who wanted to just correct him, basically was just like, not forget, let's roll with it, and tells him thank you, basically, which I thought was pretty funny. Then Logan Paul, which, here's something interesting. So it was advertised this week that Nick Aldis was going to pick Logan Paul's opponent. Which, like I said, now that, of course, I predicted Logan Paul to be defending his U.S. title in Chamber. Now that's not happening because they're having the Chamber match determine who faces Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And so at first I'm like, well, are they going to just disregard Logan Paul? So I forgot, oh wait, Logan Paul is going to be in the qualifying matches to be inside the Chamber. So technically, yes, Nick Aldis is giving Logan Paul another opponent. Logan Paul rolls up and basically says he doesn't want to be in a qualifying match because he basically, he's a draw. He thinks he deserves the Rock treatment. And then he also doesn't want to wrestle in Utah next week. Finally, though, he goes, you know what? Either way, fine. I'm going to win a Chamber. I'm going to go to Mania. And I'm going to win Seth Rollins in a rematch from last year's WrestleMania. And he will be double champ. And then Nick Aldis does the honor and tells him that his opponent will be The Miz. The way they were hyping it up, I thought at first they were going to give him LA Knight. Because I'm thinking, no, save that match for Mania. But it will be Logan Paul and The Miz on SmackDown next week. Okay. I don't think it's going to be a good... Their SummerSlam match in 2022 may have stolen the show. Although, of course, there was Brock and Roman with a freaking tractor and last man standing. But Logan Paul and The Miz was an outstanding match that year. So that will be that match. And then the main event, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn had a match. Was fine. Randy won, though. Feel bad for Sami for getting the loss here. He was kind of hoping they would have thrown him a bone, but they didn't. But Randy wins, and then afterwards, Drew McIntyre came up and got face-to-face with Randy, and basically was like, we've gone to war before, let's do it again. As they're, so far, the first two to qualify for the men's Elimination Chamber match. That's the show. That's it, guys. I gave it a B-. Nothing really I hated. It was just like, okay, qualifying matches, this and this. We still don't know what's going on with Dakota Kai, although it seems for now she's with Bayley. I'm sure she's not. And Triple H should remind us, hey, I'm in charge around here, not The Rock. It doesn't matter what you think. So, that's that. That's my thoughts on SmackDown, guys. That's all I gotta say. What are your guys' thoughts? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And also be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe. More content come to my channel. You may follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself, and that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!